Hey guys, Simon here with a little disclaimer. I had suspected Matthew Hinton of using bot assistance to cheat on his games for a little while before this tournament began. And along with the help of the USTA board, we did find some pretty overwhelming evidence that he was cheating in this game, as well as future games that he played in the tournament. And so he has been disqualified. And this was really Ineria playing against a version of TakticianBot. And honestly, played really well. But this is the first instance we know of that this has happened in the TAK community, that someone has cheated. And so that's just really, really disappointing. And the USTA has plans to put some things in place to keep this from happening again. So with that being said, go ahead and enjoy this game. I did have some suspicions that he was going to be cheating in this match. I did not know he was cheating in these particular games, though I did know for sure that he had cheated against bot games in the past. So this was the first time that I had really seen that. So my commentary in this video is as if he were playing himself, even though he was not playing actually himself. So enjoy the video, but yeah, it's a real shame. We've always prided ourselves on having a really fantastic community, and it just really let me down that this happened. Anyway, back to fun TAK. Let's go ahead and watch this game with Ineria. Hi there, folks. Welcome to the Intermediate TAK Invitational Tournament match between Ineria and MatthewHinton. This is a pretty solid match because both players are quite new to the game. However, Ineria did win the beginner tournament of Q1 2021. And MatthewHinton, while he started a little bit later than Ineria, actually after the beginner tournament began, he has been climbing through the ranks and challenging lots of games. I think he's played several hundred games, above 500 games, I think. And so he's played quite a few games. He is up there. He has been invited to this intermediate tournament, and we are ready to get going on game one. This should be a pretty strong, pretty solid, pretty even matchup between these two players. All right, game one has begun. We see the first move out here in one of the corners, and adjacent corners is what we're going to get. And I imagine we're going to see that mirrored opening, slightly different opening here, playing on this different square, not the close one to that piece. So this is very different from the usual mirrored opening that we do see. But they are continuing to go up in this. This is a slightly different opening, as you would have seen from my openings video. It mostly covers where the white player plays in this square first and goes up that line as opposed to this one. So this is a little bit different. Ineria not going to go with a capstone placement, going to go with a flat instead, saving that capstone for a different spot. White continuing this vertical threat. Black dropping that capstone down. Ready to come across and change that momentum of this game. White instead playing across here to go for that horizontal threat, changing directions, knowing that this capstone is going to come across and block everything. Black deciding to play down here. This continues that vertical threat that Black has going on and also cuts off this horizontal threat from White. So Black can continue to build up or build across here. I like playing up here. I also like playing over here. Playing there also works well. All of those are solid moves. White dropping the capstone. This isn't a super great position for White because it is against the edge, but It is very offensive and defensive. Black bringing that capstone down, really making sure that this white capstone can't come across, forcing it to come down instead. And that is a really strong move from black. And gaining that hard capstone is going to help out later on in the game. We did see white play up here at d5. It's an interesting play. Black now playing off, going to go for that horizontal threat, it looks like, as opposed to a vertical one. This capstone of white is really looking to be pretty isolated. While it can capture down, black's capstone can again capture down on top of that and then further isolate this white capstone. White is making the first tack threat now. Coming up, playing here at d6 does make a tack threat. So one sort of capture is going to happen either here on c4 or on c3. One of those has to occur because there's, or I guess here on d5 as well would work, but not in the long run, I don't think. So any sort of capture, but there's no placement that can stop this road threat from completing, so it's got to be a capture. Black probably doesn't want to bring this capstone over. Definitely if they do want to maintain that hard capstone, so they bring the whole stack over. Instead, black bringing that flat over here onto c3. I do like that move. I feel like white is going to fill in here. If white hadn't played that capstone, right here would have been ideal. But instead, we do see white filling in with that white flat. Now, will black capture down here onto d3? Or will they play out here onto okay, f4. Yeah, that's good. Because this can come in here for a capture, then the black capstone can come across. White playing around. Okay. Black might fill in here at e3 to make that tack threat. White is in a bit of a pickle with that capstone placement, though. Not ideal. Okay, black playing at b4 to make that tack threat. I actually really like b4 a lot because while it does make that tack threat horizontally, it's also building in the vertical direction for that vertical tack threat in the future. So it's a multi-purpose move. I like it. Now we do see that tack threat being renewed by white. I would not be surprised to see that throw. I was expecting that. That spread of that capstone stack move drops it here. Doesn't make any sort of tack threat right now, but it does threaten this stack to get that captive back. Also, this double stack now can probably be returned by black. Take that capstone, move that whole stack up. Now he's got that kind of big chunky stack that he can use for future moves. I like that. Not a great trade for white. It works out in black's favor. If white wants to stop anything, I mean, they're making that tack threat right now, but white's got to do something a little bit different in order to make that work for him. So I would expect black to probably just fill in here for now with a flat at d3. Spreading out right now wouldn't be too great. You'd want to fill in first and then spread out, maybe do a little bit more capturing, build up some more stacks, get a little bit more, a little bit stronger position for that capstone. White coming down with that, making another tack threat here at e3. So again, placing at e3 would stall that tack threat. And I do feel like that is the best move at this point, placing at e3. While white is pushing the momentum right now and really making threat after threat, black is pretty in control of this board. Black has a lot of positional advantage, mainly because of this capstone stack. We did finally see that capstone come down from white. This is where I would expect to see some building from black, maybe over here onto b3. Or just playing up here on f3, that also works too. Yeah, I like f3 a little bit more, I think. White dropping that wall, making sure that he cannot do that, make that spread across to make that tack threat, because that is a tack threat. Spreading that wall, that capstone stack to the left would have been a road. So dropping the wall was a good way to stop that. Black dropping another flat here at a4, continuing that tack threat, moving that capstone stack up, or dropping a flat there would have been a road, but now there's a wall blocking that spot. Black dropping another flat down here at b1 for another tack threat. White may be forced to drop another wall here or throw that capstone across onto c2. Does not, instead goes for that capture. We may see black make a capture down here. That would make a lot of sense. And they do that. Continues. White will probably have to drop down a wall or throw that capstone across. Throwing the capstone across was probably the better move here because it kind of makes it so this capstone isn't quite as isolated as it has been. But instead drops that wall, so further isolating this capstone. Now, it is important to note that black does have this big stack, but it's semi-surrounded by these walls of white. So let's take a look at the flat stone count right now. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 for white, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 for black. Black also does have some positive flat count moves here in the near future. So that is also important to note. I would say that this game is not quite done or anything. Black does have a pretty solid position. They're building for this vertical road threat right now, so they can smash this wall, make that. So they can smash this wall, make that road. White is trying to go for this horizontal threat on the above section. So, I'm thinking black probably wants to capture over here onto a6 with this b6 flat. That would be a tack threat. And it would keep white from building over here maybe, because if white can build over here, they can build a tack threat. Coming down would be a tack threat. I don't think there's too much to worry about right here from white. I do still feel like black is in control here, even with the 3 walls on the board surrounding black's capstone. It does seem to be a pretty strong position here for black. So we do see this tack threat coming from black. Smashing that wall is a tack threat. We do see the capture over from b5 onto a5. This interrupts that tack threat. Black can come up and capture. I was expecting either a capture or a placement here. Placing at b5 would be good. Not another renewed tack threat, but it still would have been good. But we do see that capture up. This is where I'm a little surprised to see a flat here instead of a wall. A wall would have made a lot of sense to capture that, but I guess White's probably thinking I'm way behind on flats right now because of my 3 walls. Can't drop another one. Black does place. White brings that capstone up, captures that big stack. Black making that tack threat yet again by placing here at b5. Smashing this wall again will be a road. White's got to make some sort of decision here, figure out how they want to handle this. They're going to spread up and stop that. Black can place up here at b6 and renew that road if they want to, and they do so. This white wall is a little trapped here at the moment. White brings that over. This is really close to making a tack threat for white. Black dropping a wall here. This is a good position for a wall, and it's a very offensive wall and defensive at the same time. Walls have a lot of characteristics that match those of capstones, and that you want to place them where they can capture stacks and do a lot of damage. And so in this point, yes, he can do a lot of damage with this wall coming down here onto e4, would be able to use that stack to spread around, cover up some pieces, stop these threats from happening, because there is a attack threat by placing here at f4 that black needs to stop at this moment. And the only captures that can do that is capturing down or capturing over with this wall, or by placing here at f4. Black taking their time. Both players have been playing fairly quickly this match. We do see that the time controls are... Ooh, they are not playing on the correct time controls. That is going to be a bit of an issue, I think. I wonder if that is going to make this game null. We'll have to talk to the tournament director about that one. So black does take that wall, bring it down, and then white renews the attack threat by placing here at f5. So something's going to have to happen here to stop that. Could be this stack comes up, f3 stack comes up and captures onto f5. That would also work pretty well, I think. It would, however, unpin this wall, and the wall would be able to move upwards. White going ahead, planting here, ready to make that threat by capturing down or placing here at f6. Black brings that wall up and stops it. White probably wants to take this stack here with the white flat to capture over. Does not. Instead goes ahead and renews that attack threat by placing down here at e4. I would say probably taking this and spreading it down just like that. They knew exactly what I was thinking here. But black needs to be careful. For something like that. So black's going to have to take this e3 and move it upwards, because can't capture down, that would leave a road here. Can't throw that wall down, that would also leave a road for white. So capturing up does stop that. This also unpins this wall here. White capturing. We may see a recapture here with this stack. We do see some other games going on, other tournament games. Okay, so the recapture did occur. Taking that top flat over. So maybe these two stacks. This one's pretty juicy for white. White might want that. White's dropping a wall here. Good wall positioning because it's right next to these two stacks that each have captives, which are great. Black doesn't have too many options right now. Got to do something. Could take this stack, bring it across. It is a tough one, that's for sure. That might be the best move here, is taking this e5 stack and throwing it, making that spread onto d5 and c5. But black is in a little bit of a pickle here. Let's look at the flat count now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 black. So it's an even flat count right now. Black has more flat positive moves at their disposal at the moment, but white is going to have some flat positive moves very shortly with this wall capture that's going to come up soon. Black might be thinking of smashing this wall to keep that from happening, but they'd have to be careful with how they drop these pieces. And not quite sure that would be the best move at this point. I am still looking at this spread move. I like that spread move to the left. Black dropping a wall, interesting. I know what they're going for with this. They're able to use this stack, bring that up, keep white from using that wall to bring that stack and kind of suck up those pieces. So I do actually like that wall placement, a little bit unorthodox, but I think it works. White has some plan. They're building down here at E1. They're probably thinking, okay, I got to build flats. I got to get this flat count differential in my favor. Black dropping flats as well. We see that wall finally capture up. And black's wall comes over. Ready to use that stack to spread. Potentially spread. D5 minus. Interesting move there. I guess it stops the really strong flat count differential move from black. Makes it a little less strong. And I guess if they place here, they can start making their own threats for a road. But I imagine black would want to fill in at D5 unless they use some sort of spreading. So D5 would be a good move there. There are some pretty tricky moves that black has in the future. Again, both of these players are fairly new to Tak. I believe they both started around this year or just at the end of last year. And we are in March, so just 3 or 4 months of play here. We are seeing white filling in again, trying to make that Tak threat going in that direction. No current Tak threat though, especially with that fill in at D5, kind of stopped that cold. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 for white. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 for black. Black's got to make some moves here to increase that flat count differential. Moving that capstone a whole stack over, that is a big move. And it definitely affects this game. There's a number of things that black can do with this capstone stack now that it's out here. Now that it's no longer surrounded by all these walls, it can move up, it can move down, it can move to the side, it can do all sorts of things. I feel like moving up would be pretty good. You could even threaten to smash your own wall if you set things up correctly. And smashing that own wall would make a hard capstone, strong stack, be pretty solid. White may be placing here at F4 to threaten this stack here, to maybe force this capstone to move across and recapture and keep that on the edge of the board, have it not be so central and not so potent. Let's see what black is going to do here. I feel like there is some potential for some sneaky threats going on with some placements up here, maybe some captures, because this wall, or this capstone rather, can still come across and smash this wall. So if there's a connection point that comes up here onto this top row here, I feel like that would be really strong for black to do that, but it's going to be tough to make it work. You have to take this across, go up, go up. Yeah, there's a lot of moves that would have to go with that to make it work. And while they'd all be probably pretty solid moves because of the flat count differential moves that they'd be making, I'm not sure if they're exactly what black wants to do at this point. Black may want to take this stack and throw it up. And, ooh, that's an interesting move. Okay. I don't quite know what the point of that capture was. It might be for a future threat. Bringing this capstone up, smashing this wall stack, and then being able to bring it across left and right. That might be what he's going for. But I think first, in order to do that, you'd have to take this F3 stack and drop 1 and then drop 2 up here to make that connection. Good flat count differential move and a solid anchor point here onto this right edge. White is bringing it down, ready to capture up, recapture this, and get a solid flat count differential move by being able to capture over and maintain those. So not a great move, I don't think, from black in the long term here. Black moving up yet again. Interesting. Interesting. I see some things starting to take shape. White, if they do capture down, black can move this over and recapture. White might want to move that capstone in some place to be able to recapture this big stack with a lot of their friendly pieces. But if they do that, black can drop here at B6 and again renew that same tack threat that they had before. White would then be forced to move over some walls. Interesting. Okay, white playing down here at A2. Black does not want to take this stack and capture up onto A6, as that would give the capstone a lot of power by retaking those extra captives. Definitely don't want that to happen if you're black. Ineria taking their time here. This is a little interesting because a lot of time has been spent on this game. We do see Ineria's down to 8 minutes. MatthewHinton still above that 15-minute mark, but they are playing with the incorrect time controls. So we'll have to see if the tournament director, Reed, is going to allow that. So we do see this spread move from black, taking this wall stack and moving it across. Interesting move. Someone in the chat saying missed it. I'm not quite sure what they're missing. Is there a road that I'm not seeing? Am I not seeing a road? I don't think there's a road available for anyone. Black coming up with that capstone. White doesn't have any threats. White wins with flats. That was it, running low on flats. Black had to make some moves to make up the flat differential. Didn't quite have enough time to do that, though. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, 12 to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Oh, that's rough. Let's see if there was another move that they could have made to fix this. So let's see. That was a plus... Was that a +1 move? No, it was a +2 move. And this would have been a +2 move. This would have been a +3 move. Boom, boom. It's tough to say how that would have turned out. And game 2 is on the way. Here we go. They are making sure that both games are played with the same time control, so there's no advantage to any one player. But here we go with game 2. One played in the corner. And Hinton taking his time to play in that adjacent corner there. All right, so we are seeing a more traditional play here. Very different from black. Interesting. This is not the standard mirror opening that we're used to seeing. MatthewHinton playing here to sort of block that off. I would imagine that white would play... I was actually going to imagine that white would play here at b4 instead to cut off this vertical avenue that black has building. But instead, white going to go ahead for this vertical direction themselves. Interesting. Black taking his time on these opening moves. Going to go ahead and play across here. This does cut off that vertical avenue and start building his own horizontal one. White could be playing here at a6 on the next turn, which would, again, cut off that horizontal avenue and start building towards their own vertical one. Likely lead to a black flat here, and then I would imagine a white capstone here at b4. That would likely be pretty decent. And we do see that white flat come down here on a5. MatthewHinton thinking about his next move here, trying to figure out what to do. Dropping that black flat here instead. Okay, it is still going for that horizontal and vertical threat, but I think it's a little stronger where it is and doesn't leave that opening spot here at b4 for that white capstone to drop. So I like black's position here, actually. That's a pretty solid opening. It's one we see often from, I think we see this sort of pattern and this sort of opening from TakticianBot quite a bit, which is one of, if not the strongest bot that is out there for Tak. White building around. I think we will likely see black play here at a4, and we do. This furthers both of those threats again. White building here to cut off that vertical and also start going for their own horizontal. Black may start push out here onto d5. But he is taking his time with these moves. Black does have momentum here, so white will have to do some capturing or some defensive moves to keep him from making a road before she can make her own on the white. White is dropping that capstone there. Good position for the capstone. While it can be isolated technically, actually no, it can't be isolated. Black dropping the capstone down here below to cut off that horizontal threat. White moving upwards to isolate the black capstone. Solid move. That is a very favorite trick of Ineria, to isolate capstones whenever possible. I would not be surprised to see white take a3 and move it up here onto a4, which would sort of protect this stack here on b5. But then that capstone might capture onto itself here, onto b3, and not quite do that trick. But still think it's a solid move to move a3 to a4. Do want to keep that piece protected, and right now it does lose a capture war. Okay, so we do see that, and we see a budding horizontal and vertical threat at the same time going right now, but the linchpin point is this b4 flat. So if we do see a capture war, white will win that, but black can bring this capstone up on top of this b3 flat to take it in the next couple turns. Wouldn't have to worry about white winning in the meantime. Would still be able to do that. So b3 plus or b2 plus is probably the strongest move. Black instead going to drop a wall here, ready to recapture here onto a4, and then spread across to liberate those captives. All right, now what will white do in response? Now, white may decide to take a different path, take d4 and move it over here onto c4, would be able to smash any wall captures that happen and still maintain a pretty solid position and keep the momentum. And so I feel like that's actually the best move. While it's a little counterintuitive, taking d4 left, probably the best move here. But let's see what white does. Because you know that this wall is going to come up here onto a4 on the next move, pretty much no matter what, to liberate this captive and liberate this captive. And so white moving here would really be strong and sort of stymie that whole attempt. White instead going to move up at b6, placing flats. Doesn't want to get behind on flats like they did on the previous game. So it is smart to keep placing. Black probably had the plan to move up here onto a4, and so they are going to follow through with that plan. So white taking their time. I do feel like that move would have been so good, and it would have really shut down whatever black was doing. But instead, white is going to have to come back from this, going to make a capture over. I'm not quite sure about that move. While it does perpetuate this line, it's still given more power to this wall stack that is just going to keep running amok and liberating those captives. Black instead doesn't go for the capture and goes for a placement. Trying to get some more flats on the board. Now white has another chance to come back over with this d4 flat on d4 capstone onto c4 to potentially retake this, and they do it. Excellent. At least in my head. Excellent. It could be the terrible move, but to me, it makes a lot of sense. All right, black continuing to build along this horizontal line. Not bad. White can continue to build along as well on the horizontal line, and they would have momentum at this point. So building along on d4 or even on d3 would perpetuate this line for white, and it would force a reaction from black. Now, building here at e4 is interesting. I guess they're counting on this capstone stack, this hard stack, to be able to come back over and capture onto it and cover up whatever they got going here to stop that. And they're not wrong, but it does open up this spot for black to start building this vertical line. And so this is attack threat from white. Placing here at f4 does make this attack threat, moving over with this capstone. Taking c5 left makes a lot of sense, and they go ahead and do that. Now, white has a number of options here. They could take this stack and move it upwards, which would free it from this wall. But they might be thinking, okay, I want this wall to come over so I can smash it with the capstone. So black probably wants to do something over here with another wall maybe on b6 or b5 to come down and capture this stack. So I'd say probably a b6 placement for white, which would be another attack threat. They are going to have to respond to black's attack threat eventually. Now what black wants to do is take this d4 and move it over here to e4. That's what they want to do, because moving this wall over would just lead to that smash and make that capstone stack all the stronger. All the more strong? All much stronger? I don't even know. English. But yeah, if he does move this, okay, so that flat move did happen, was the right move for black to make there, to fend that off. Now white's got to do some work to recover here, because black is in a position where they can start making some solid threats. Placing here at e2 would be attack threat that white can't immediately respond to except for capturing down or placing, but then another placement here, and they start going towards another line and vertical threats, and so black's got a lot of potential here in the next few moves. A bold play to come across with this, black's probably just going to drop a wall right here. That is a very bold play to throw that capstone across. Ooh, we don't see that. Interesting. White probably doesn't want to smash that wall right away, probably wants to recapture here with this b5 stack onto b4. And then this can come up, and then b5 can come down again maybe. And if this wall comes across, this capstone can fly across and smash it, and that would be a really strong position. But yeah, I really do like b5 coming down a little bit. Definitely don't want to smash this wall yet. Okay, white going the other direction with it. I'm not quite sure I understand that move. I get that they're trying to go for this horizontal line, but now this wall can move out of line of the capstone and capture this stack. Yeah, black's position looks a whole lot better now after that move. In the previous position, I think that white had the advantage, but now black's got a pretty big one by capturing that stack. If white, for example, takes this stack, moves the top two pieces over here onto d4 to threaten this stack's going to move across and make a vertical tack threat. And that would be pretty tough to stop. Not impossible, but it would take some doing. Let's see here. Ineria taking her time here on this move. Figure out what the best positioning might be. Dropping a wall. Smart play. It does stop this wall stack from coming across and making that attack threat. Also threatens this stack. Black probably going to go ahead and just place here at E2 to continue making another attack threat. Black thinking, what's the response to this move now? Black moving that wall stack just one piece over. Getting ready for a really strong flat count differential move here. Just covering up those two pieces. Really, really strong. White taking that wall, moving it down. I kind of liked moving this instead. Throwing white piece here and then the black and the capstone there. I feel like that would have been pretty strong to be able to threaten that big stack. Because threatening that big stack is pretty big. Being able to smash it would be pretty huge. Oh, white gonna go for a threat in this direction. Okay, I like that. White's gonna want to play here on the next turn. Black making that threat, not allowing that to happen. White probably wants to place here at F2, get more flats on the board. It's not a bad play. Comes down with that capture instead. I imagine black is probably going to drop a flat here at F2. It would be a sneaky road threat with this stack here. Dropping one black, one white, one black, and then the last three pieces here would create a road. And so dropping a flat at F2 would be attack threat, and it would be pretty sneaky. Instead goes ahead and throws that stack all the way down. No attack threat now from black, but white does have the opportunity to toss this stack over and drop a white here on D4, and then the capstone here threatens this big stack of pieces and also makes a move in the direction of attack threat. But that would actually be a mistake. That would be a mistake because dropping a wall here would be really close to Tinue. Have to drop a flat piece here on F2, and then a wall here on C1 to stop that wall from coming down and making a road. Because smashing this stack would leave a black piece here, and that would just be completing the road by going around it. So that's a tough one. That's a couple moves out to look at that. So moving this across isn't the best of choices, it seems. Might just have to toss a wall here at F2. Dropping a wall there at D3 instead. That does work. black making that vertical tack threat here. White, I think, should now toss that capstone over, dropping a white here on d4, and then the other two pieces here onto c4. That would stop that road threat, be a partial road threat for white, and threaten this stack. Well, not completely threaten this stack, because that would lead to a loss for white. Yeah, it would lead to a loss. But black's got some work to do as well. Black has to do something here, otherwise this stack is going to get smashed by that capstone. And okay, good, because placing here at e4, if they didn't do something with e4, I think it would have ended up as Tinue for white. So they did have to do something there. I wouldn't be surprised to see white play something here at maybe e5 to come down and capture, or even to just take f4 left and capture that. All of those are viable moves. But it was very close to Tinue for white. Alrighty. What is Ineria going to do now? Making that move with the wall. I don't know that I agree with that move. In fact, I guarantee that I definitely do not agree with that move. The reason being is because it gives this capstone an opportunity to smash. Well, it does allow this capstone to smash here. Now this capstone is more in the game. It was more or less isolated for the whole game, but now that black capstone is back in it. And that is not something you want as white. Yeah, white was really close to Tinue there in the next few moves. But now not so much. White does go for the smash. Really wanted that stack. I think that's why they moved that wall down, so they could take this. Don't think that it was worth it, because black has a strong stack here. There's a good stack here. Able to use those to make some solid flat count differential moves and really move up. And while this is an attack threat, it's pretty close, and it's got some solid moves in the next few moves. Yeah, there's solid positioning here from black. White's at a severe disadvantage, even with a strong stack. But I would have said that white was slightly ahead, maybe. Right before move 25, right at 24. I think that it was pretty even, but white had a slight advantage, potentially. It's tough to say. Now, I expect black to maybe place here at a3 or at b2 to make that tack threat moving upwards. That can really only be stopped by capturing with this c3 stack. Instead, going to place there. White probably doesn't want to take the top flat here. Can throw the whole thing across, though. And so drop one white and then the top three here onto a3. And that would cover that up, stop that threat from happening. Oh, and actually, no, it wouldn't. Yeah, because white can bring that, black can bring this stack down. Okay. So white needs to make a capture here or here. So yeah, come up, come down, or come up. Makes that capture move from d4 plus. And white's not in too bad of a position anymore either with that. White can play something up here at c6 maybe. Or maybe down here at c1. I like c1. Yeah, c1 looks good. Black's made another tag threat. White's got to respond to that. White can take d5 to the left, but it would just get recaptured and wouldn't want to leave that capstone stack position because it's a really solid spot. Actually, no, can't do that either because this goes up. So gonna have to capture down here at b3. Man, I'm missing all of these. Yeah, so this can move straight up, or it can be placed here at c6. So it's got to be a capture here at b3 or at b2. Those are really the only moves that white has to stop this from happening now. Black is at pretty solid advantage right now. White is going to make that capture in that solid way where they take that whole stack, drop 1, and then drop the other 3. This keeps this capstone from getting a ton of extra black flats here. But there are a lot of liabilities here, and there's a capstone just waiting for him. Black does move that capstone down. That is another tack threat. And this would probably be a good time for a wall. But white doesn't want to do that because they don't want to cut off that horizontal threat opportunity for themselves. But it might be the best decision at this point. Moving that stack over, yeah, it works, but I'm not super pleased by it. Black is building here, really just pinning that capstone. So now the capstone is pinned. White probably doesn't want to play here at c3, even though that would be building towards that vertical threat. If they do build at c3, it gives this capstone the opportunity to come across over here and make that. But this capstone is likely building for this threat by moving across onto this direction. And if they build a flat here, if white picks a flat here, that might be even Tinue. Yeah, if white places a flat here, it's Tinue, and black wins. So white's going to have to either drop a wall here or do something else that stops black's Tinue. And the reason it's Tinue is because black can leave a good number of black pieces here, like 2 black pieces here, bring over this other stack. That's a threat in that direction. So definitely can't play a flat on a5. Can play a wall there, can leave it blank, do something else. Just don't play a flat on a5. White does not play a flat on a5, instead plays at d4. This does create not a tack threat, but it goes in that same direction and it's moving towards 1. So I think that was a solid move. White does lose the capture war on d5 at this point. Black does move over. We are going to have to see a wall here on a6 to stop that. As that, I believe, is the only move that can stop it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 1, 2, 3. So 1, 2, 3. Yep. That does go all the way to a6. So a wall, gonna have to drop. We may see black start to build up here at e6. We don't. That's interesting. As white, I would want to build here at e5 now. Because that would keep this capstone from smashing this wall, for sure. and because it would lead to a loss. And white is not completely cut off from building a horizontal road now, because they do have this double stack here they can bring up onto b5 to create that connection to a6. So building at e5 I feel like is a strong spot. Don't feel like black has any wins or anything that they're looking at right now. I'm curious as to what they're going for. Black, again, might be going for that road in that direction horizontally. They both have a solid amount of reserves left, so it's not going to flats just yet. We do see white make that move on e5. Okay. White made that move on e5. Black quickly responded by b2, going to the right. And then white again responds by dropping a wall here to stop that attack from happening. Black makes another road threat in this direction, going for that horizontal road threat. White brings that wall down, stopping that road threat. That b2 to the right move was pretty sneaky, I will admit. So we see this, and it's sneaky because it's a toss. So you spread this stack up here, and that makes that connection. And so white had to drop a wall here to stop that. Now, black's got another move to make. Trying to figure out what to do here. Black is giving a little bit of trouble here to white. I feel like placing it at f5 would be the move to make here for white. Maybe e5 minus, but yeah, I like f5 here. So this is a attack threat for white. Black has more flats on the board right now, but white has some solid flat count differential moves right now by moving this wall over, coming down with it, and that sort of thing. So that's nice. I feel like moving e5 left would be the move here. If it does come to a stack war, capture war, white will win this, but will lose their positioning and lose their sort of pinning on that spot. Okay, so they do move down, which is interesting because now they basically forced this to lose that capture war. Unexpected move, but it is attack threat from white. Okay. Black comes down with it. I could see white take this wall stack and move it up here onto d3. That actually makes sense to me. But would potentially lose this e4 stack because the capture war of this and this would beat out just this f4 flat. Throws that wall up. I like it. Making that threat. Now we're going to have to see white take that same wall, drop a white here, and then the wall here. Yeah, that's what's going to happen. No, we're going to drop a wall instead. Okay. White is very behind on flats. Only have 6 flats showing. Black has a lot more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 flats showing for black. White has some positive flat count differential moves on the horizon, but they've got to get to him very soon, or she will run out of time for those. Moving across, ready to make that attack threat. The problem is, once that is primed and ready to make that attack threat and this wall moves off, they can just capture onto b5 and sort of ruin that whole attack threat plan. So it's not exactly what they're hoping to do here. So, that I don't think would have worked out very well, because now we've got this double stack that can move upwards and capture onto this, and there's no wall to come over and recapture it and save it for later. So we do see that jump up there. Yeah, this looks a little hopeless for white. Very behind in flat count, and it's coming down to flats, and black just has so many threats in the works here. White dropping a flat, getting ready to capture back up and try to retake this stack. Again, wins the stack war, but would have to give up positioning and make way for a black wall that would cut this capstone off from all of that action. So not great. Black placing. Not attack threat, but it will be attack threat on the next turn if black places at f6. Moving that wall there is interesting. I'm not quite sure why that wall moved there. Black will likely play here at c3. Maybe white is getting ready to toss that wall over? Because, I mean, tossing it up here won't make a road. Yeah, I'm very surprised by that. A little confused. Okay, so this comes over, ready to make that attack threat. Coming across will stop it. So throwing this wall, dropping white here onto c3, and then dropping here, or just taking this whole stack and moving it over would work as well. Yeah. Either of those work. Either bringing this whole stack over or spreading and dropping the wall here and the flat here. Either of those work fine. Okay, does make that. Curious. What will black do here? Black fills in at d4, doesn't make the f6 play. Okay. Yeah, I don't see a road there. White trying to make those flat count differential moves. Again, this capstone is pinned. Can't go anywhere because it would just lead to a road win for black. f6, now we're seeing a attack threat from black. Smashing that wall would be a win. what is the move here? Could capture up with f5 onto f6, and then subsequently capture f4 onto f5 when that's placed there. Or move b5 minus would also work. Okay, that works as well. 2e4 plus stops that, but then you'll probably see just fill in at d6 to continue that horizontal threat. Does fill in at d6. Down to 46th move. It's quite a few moves. White doesn't have too many options now. Does capture down with the b5. It's kind of just struggle and force it to go to flats at this point, because I don't think that white can win really anyway. Stack moves out of the way of the capstone, because the capstone would have been able to capture after that b5 moved down. No tack threat currently. That wall does come across, capture that stack, able to spread, do some work there, which is nice. But I think it's too little too late at this point. I don't think it's going to be enough. Not enough. Ooh, black coming over, threatening that stack, but also threatening a road. If this stack moves out of the way, this can drop 1 and then drop 2 to complete that. But moving sideways would not lead to an immediate road from black. Might move the capstone down to block the other capstone. Okay, not a tack threat from black, but it is a strong position. I can see white moving upwards with this stack to spread it and make some positive flat count differential moves. Gonna have to do it soon. Okay, moving it off to the side first so it can do the most damage. I like that. That's smart. That is smart, but black's going to take this and capture down, which is a vertical and horizontal threat at the same time, and moving this up would not stop that. White does have the option, though, if that happens, to capture over with this wall or capture down with the wall. That would work. There may be some life in this for white yet. Okay, so does go for that. White is going to be able to spread this up for a very strong positive flat count differential move to cut off that horizontal threat and also to just go for those flats. I like it. see, 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's get a closer look. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we'll be able to drop 1, 2, and then that wall. So leave a white, 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 and then the wall. So that would be a +1, +2, 3, +4, 5, +6 move. That would be a +6 move to do that. Wow, that would have been great. Why didn't you go for it? Did I miss something? Oh, yeah, because it would have been a road. Of course, yeah. Yeah, can't do that. Comes over the wall first. Smart. Now black comes over with that wall. This makes a vertical threat and a horizontal threat at the same time. Is that Tinue? Ah, crap, I think that's Tinue. Did he get it? I think he got it. I think he got the Tinue. Yep, comes across here for the horizontal road threat. Well played to both players. That was a really fun game. That was really cool to see. Excellent play from both of you. You got really close down to the wire there. Excellently played. Next time, use the right time controls. But anyway, that is the end of Game 2 of the Ineria MatthewHinton match. Matthew takes both games. And that is it. Be sure to check out the description at the bottom of this video to see all the TAK resources that we have available to us, including the playtak.com website where you can play folks online. Also, the rules for the game so you can learn it. Check out the videos on my channel for how to play TAK. Check out the subreddit. Especially, check out the TAK Discord server, which is the community hub. It's where everybody goes to talk about TAK, find players to play with, where we organize all these tournaments and everything. It's all on that TAK Discord. That is the place to be. If you're unfamiliar with Discord, Discord is a audio and text chatting web application and mobile application, and it's super easy to use, doesn't cost a thing, and you don't even have to download anything if you don't want to. Thanks for checking it out, thanks for watching, and until next time, have a great day and happy tacking.